Hey everyone, this is Luke again, and welcome back to yet another Ninjago video onto the channel today. So, I know I've been a little bit behind when, covering Ninjago stuff, but one of the things that I saw while I was on my break was that Ninjago in 2023 might get a new iteration, which, that's big news. That is super big news. I mean, right now we're in Ninjago's second iteration because we had Master of Spinjitzu, which ran from 2011 to 2019, and now we have the second incarnation, which is just labeled Ninjago, running from 2019 and supposedly ending this year, 2022. And a lot of people the reactions to this have been mixed, to say the least. And I can understand that. This is a big, big change for Ninjago. And change and Ninjago fans go with one another, go with each other like ice cream and ketchup. It don't work. So I just want to make it out to you that, let's say there is a new incarnation. Let's say there is, with whether it be a prequel series, a sequel, or something completely different. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think people are worried over nothing, basically. But because that's usually Ninjago fan behavior at this point. They have mostly worried about stuff, and usually it doesn't really result in anything too substantial. And I just want to make it clear that I know this is going to be a big change. And I know some people may not want to accept that change, and that's okay. You don't have to watch this new series. You're not obligated to do that. Just like you aren't obligated to watch Ninjago right now. Hell, that's kind of why I, stepped back a little bit from Ninjago videos for a while. I just wanted to watch some new shows, because it's been kind of breathing down my neck, and I just wanted to add some variety, some spice into my life. But whatever the fate of Ninjago is, I don't think it will be that big of a deal. But I also want to address something that a lot of Ninjago fans have said. A lot of Ninjago fans think it's too early for this type of change because their argument is that Wild Brain Ninjago is on a constant rise, which their argument can be something like this. Secrets of Forbidden Spinjitzu start off very poorly. So let's say right here, it's 5 out of 10 for me. Then we had Prime Empire. It went up a little bit. Brown to 6. Then Master of the Mountain. Most people put it like an 8, 9, or 10, but for me it's 7.5, so around here. I don't count Island because the Island's not only crappy, but it's also a special to an extent, so yeah. But then we have Seabound, which was all the way up here to like 9 out of 10, like 9 out of 10 for most people. And so people expect Crystalized to be like a 10, like a 9.5 to a 10. And yeah, except the Island, Wild Brain Ninjago has been seemingly gotten better with each version. But there's one thing with this argument. You have to remember, Wild Brain Ninjago has not lasted as long as Masters of Spinjitzu Ninjago. Masters of Spinjitzu lasted for 8 years. Wild Brain has lasted for 3 so far. And honestly, why does it matter if it only ends after 3 years? Why does it matter? It really doesn't matter if it ends after only 3. So what if it only lasts 3 years? It doesn't matter. I mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles' most recent incarnation only lasted like 1 or 2 years. It only lasted like 1 to 2 years. And we all know how popular Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is. It's been around for like 40 years. So why does it matter if it has a short-lived incarnation? It doesn't. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. So, honestly, this argument is not really a good reason for why they think this change is too soon. It's not a good argument because in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. Because Ninjago at this point is such a big franchise to the point where it can have a show that only lasts like 6 months and it would still live and it would still survive. The franchise, I mean, It can have a show that only lasts like, let's say, 6 months and the franchise would still live on, move on, end of scenario. So, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter however long any incarnation lasts. As long as it makes those money for Lego and its brand, that's what matters. Not the longevity, but the money. That's what matters in the grand scheme of things. I want people to realize that because it doesn't truthfully matter. I know I've said this multiple times in like 2 minutes, but I want to make this point clear that it doesn't matter if, let's say, this new incarnation only lasts 1 year or 5 years or even 10 years. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Because in the end of the day, the only thing that matters is how much money it brings in. That's the only thing that matters to Lego, is the money that it brings in. I just wanted to make that clear because I feel like this argument is not really a great argument for why it's basically, in my opinion, rejecting a much needed change. Because honestly, in my personal opinion, the main cast is getting stale. I mean, Lloyd's already gotten enough development to cover almost half of the entire of however many seasons that have been, or just under half. But still, that's quite a lot. Kai honestly does need a season as his own, but honestly, it's something that we can do without. Same thing with Cole; he doesn't really need another one. Jay really needs some away time from Nia. Same thing, vice versa. Zane needs another one, and Nia needs to finish her arc. But other than, let's say, Jay to an extent and Kai to an extent, the main cast, their stories are practically done. They're practically done. There's really nothing more you can really do, and it's about time to just end it. It's about time to just get rid of them, unfortunately. I know that I sound very sounds very evil in saying that, especially since I'm an OG and I grew up with these characters. But honestly, it's time for a change. It's time for a new set of faces to come on the scene and, share basically their take on Ninjago, essentially. Basically a new Ninjago, if you will. Because honestly, as much as I love the main cast, I do think it is time for them to ride off into the sunset and, have one last hoorah, which is Crystalized, and that's it. Their story ends, and, we say goodbye to them. It would have a huge release, a huge sigh of relief off of my shoulders just to see their stories conclude. Because I don't want to keep constantly, I don't want to have to constantly keep watching it just to see a story that is never going to conclude. And I want it to conclude. I do. Because honestly, their stories need to have some sort of conclusion. They need to have some sort of closure. At least for me. But I just wanted to say all this because I've been kind of behind on this. And I just wanted to give my thoughts on these things. Because I know that Crystalized, whenever it may release, because I've been hearing multiple things. I've heard it may release in August. I heard it may release in early October. It's all over the place right now. It's all over the place. No one really knows when it will release, and some people even said that the hype for Crystalized is dead. And I don't blame them, because Lego fricked it up the moment they tried to region block that bullshit of episodes, and it's a whole cacophony of ridiculousness at this point. There's no other way I could describe it other than a cacophony of ridiculousness, because it's like it released 12 episodes in the span of 3 hours. 3 days later, it gets taken down. Then they get back up on Netflix and YouTube. Then the Netflix gets taken down. And then, for some reason, they decide to re-upload the episodes again for some reason. I don't know. It's so weird. It's like, what is going on here? What is going on here? This is by far the most bonkers scheduling I have ever seen. Even more bonkers than Rebooted. And that's saying something. I know I'm extending this video even further, but I just want to give my thoughts on these things because I just want to get caught up in all the details and whatnot. But yeah, there's a whole entire week for videos is going to be dedicated to crystallized content. So this week is crystallized. So, anyways, what do you guys think about these things? What are your thoughts on possibly a brand new series of Ninjago, the Wild Brain is on the rise argument, and Lego's bonkers release schedule for Crystalized. Those three things. I want to know what your thoughts on these three things in the comments below. But anyways, hope you guys like this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to your channel by clicking on the red subscribe button, and click on the notification bell to see every video that I will upload. And I'll see all you folks in the next video. Bye-bye!